Hello, I'm Robert, and then this will be the last one. How do you self-quarantine and how do you self-isolate if you have COVID-19? So again, many people don't know this, so I'm just going to put the links in the description, so you're going to go and follow this up. And do follow up the links for the other videos I've said. Don't just take it as what I said. What I said can have mistakes in it. Go and check, go to the sources, the proper sources. I'm just here to direct you to the proper sources. And so this is about how should I self-quarantine. Then first of all, have a large, well-ventilated single room with hand hygiene and toilet facilities. So that's the best thing. And so you can do everything in a single room, and you never are going to be involved with contacting anyone else. If you can't do that, if you haven't got an ensuite, that's basically what they're saying, then you have to have a shared bathroom, but you then take very careful about how you do that. And basically it's very similar to isolating with COVID-19, but you don't have all the precautions of everyone has to wear a mask and everything. Your beds at least 1 meter apart, and look after your comfort and contact with your loved ones, access to news and entertainment. You can, when it's you're physically distanced, but you're not socially distanced. That's how you self-quarantine. And then, and even if you feel healthy. So there's a bit more detail here. Oh, sorry. Why did you do that? Oh, that's that one. Yes. That is a separate page coming up. But anyway, it explains there. So an adequate room with adequate ventilation and maintain at least 1 meter distance from all family members for the duration of your quarantine. And you should use a separate bathroom if you can. And really, we should be quarantining away in a third place. The government should be providing us with quarantine hotels, COVID-19 hotels for the people who are confirmed, and quarantine hotels for people who may not have COVID-19. So they're protected, so they don't get the people who don't know if they got COVID-19, but they'd be waiting there, and then they'd be if they do get COVID-19, then they're immediately supported. If they don't have COVID-19, then eventually they go home. And that would be the best way to deal with this. You could do it really professionally, rather than kind of somewhat amateur, but doing the best we can, as we're doing at the moment. And then this is if you actually have COVID-19, it's all on the same page. So if you have COVID-19, then this is the bit about how you've got to both wear masks, both wear clinical masks. They've got to drink plenty of fluids and eat nutritious food, and frequently clean your hands, and use dedicated dishes, cups and eating utensils, towels and what is bed linens for the ill person. So you keep everything that's connected with the ill person separate from them. And you identify frequently touch surfaces by the ill person and clean and disinfect them. And then you've got to watch out for the symptoms I talked about, like being breathless and so on, and watch out anything, your face going blue. You should know what those are. List of emergency symptoms. I recommend the CDC website symptoms list, and you call up the health care facility if any of that happens. And so that's basically it. Or if this has been working out. Yes, I was working out a big program to household quarantine people in hotels, and that would actually stimulate the economy, because it would keep the hospitality industry going and help people employed would otherwise be jobless. Because of all the people, they also have to be paid for it. That'd be a pretty good stimulus for our economy, to employ lots and lots of people in the hospitality industry to convert over to become specialist units for looking after people who have to quarantine for COVID-19. It would make sense, a big stimulus to keeping that sector going. Instead of them going out of business, they can be doing this. And yeah, I mean, that would make such a difference. I don't think anyone is doing that. But there are some, certainly not in the UK, and then support them, but not forced to. If they want to stay at home, then they stay at home. But they give advice about how to do it. They should have a health worker go in and tell them how to look after their house. Anyway, I'll put the links to these two in the video description. That's the end of all this. So, what were the various things? There was I've got a list here. I'll just magnify the screen a bit, then I can have a look at the ones I've already uploaded. So, yeah, in fact, why not bring this over? Because I've been uploading as I go along. So, there we are, upload complete and something. So there we are. So, but first of all, there's the isolation. If you've got COVID-19, you should isolate. And you should isolate away from your household. Then there's making sure that you know about the warning signs. And if you have COVID-19, and if you get breathlessness, that's not your baseline, face go blue, and you should get one of these oxygen monitors. Immediately contact emergency. The importance of implementations and intentions, that when you have the that it's automatic, that whenever you interact with someone socially, you step back, that you always wear a mask, and you get out of the habit of fiddling it in the front, get completely out of the habit of touching your eyes, nose and mouth, if that's able to do. It can take a while, it can take some weeks, but that's well worth learning. And then that just becomes the way you do things. Just like the way you click in the car, and you will not have any fatigue. You don't get fatigued of implementation intentions at all. I don't know why people don't talk about this. They go on and on about COVID-19 fatigue, and nobody explains about implementation intentions, and that if you can manage to make it a completely automatic thing, where you don't have to think, then you won't get fatigued of it. Except in the sense of saying, oh, I wish this was all over, but not in the sense you find it difficult to remember. And then if you're a contact of a confirmed case, then that's a bit about the quarantining. If you're a contact of a confirmed case, then that the important parts of quarantining and doing quarantine properly, and how the quarantine all works, and why it's so different from flu. Now I talk about how you can do the contact tracing yourself, and that unusually, perhaps not like flu anyway, then your contacts for COVID-19 are going to be nearly always people who you already have the contact details for, or you know someone else who's got the contact details for them. You just need to ring them up and say, you know, Joe Bloggs was next to me in this conference or something, I do have their contact details, and then they'll tell you, and then you can ring them up. And then finally, there's the I just went through in this last video. It's about the how you quarantine and how you isolate, and those are things that just so few people seem to know in the United Kingdom. I don't think, I mean, I hardly come across anyone who knows those things, who's been, if you follow the daily bulletins of the United Kingdom, where you have these people with these, when they're standing on the television giving the press briefings in front of their kind of pulpit things, and and people have listened to those, and they just don't know these things, and they watch the face-to-face, hands face-to-face, what is it, whatever it is, I forget the name again, space-to-face, anyway, you know the one I mean, but it doesn't explain these things properly. And the reason I say that is because people who watch the press briefings of the UK and who listen to the ads don't know these things. Whereas if you watch the World Health Organization press briefings, you listen to the World Health Organization social media Q/A, then you will know these things. So I strongly recommend that you supplement what the UK government is telling you with what the World Health Organization is telling you. And in the United States, the CDC is much better. They are much more accurate and they have a good website. But even so, you need to know and you need to actually access it, because there's so much conflicting, it's been so politicized, and an awful lot of people in the United States for that reason again don't know, because you haven't got someone on television clearly telling you this is what you have to do. And so anyway I hope this helps some of you. And I mean, just a few more people, we can't change the world, but we can do the things that we can do. And you can tell some people, help people that you know, and then if we all do that, then the world does change. But we can't individually. As an individual, you can't change the world. Very few people are in that position where they're so influential, so charismatic, that just they change the world somehow. But as individuals, all of us doing what I'm doing, trying to help other people to get the good, to give access to good information, make sure that you're not pontificating as yourself, but you're actually trying to connect them to the good information that you can find wherever it is. And that's the way to, if we're all doing that, the more we're doing that, we counteract the epidemic, and by providing flooding the space with good information is how my client put it. It doesn't mean indoctrinating, it just gives them access to the good information and understanding. And so if just any little bit of that is helping, and you never know, you could have saved a life by telling someone these things, because and you really don't want COVID-19. You don't want to. Yes, one more thing. Yes, I'll end with that. So it's quite a striking thing. Let me just find it. Take me a minute. I could pause this, but I think I'll just go there. It's a graphic I just made just now. Oh, maybe it's in my, let me see, find my thing. Be down there. I'll bring that up. Yes, here we are. Now, how can I just bring it up. It won't take long. Right, it's the analogy of Russian roulette. Yes, I think I'll end with this. So I'll save it. I never saved it for some reason. Right, now, so I'll bring it up and bring it onto your screen in a minute. Here it comes. Right. Yeah, so this is my summary of it. So right now, and I'll put a link to the paper in the video description. COVID-19 is currently the leading cause of death in the United States. It's higher than heart attacks, it's higher than everything just now. And 90 plus, if you're 90 plus and you get infected, your risk of dying is similar to Russian roulette. If you know Russian roulette, you have one bullet and you've got 6. You just send it spinning and then you press the trigger, and then you've got one chance in 6 of dying. And most people survive Russian roulette. And then again, if you're young, your risk of long COVID, that's being sick for months, is rather similar to Russian roulette. It's a little bit hard to calculate actually how many people have long COVID. It depends whether does it count as long COVID if you have lost your sense of taste for 3 months. So some people have relatively minor but unpleasant effects like that. and in some cases fatigue and brain fog lasting for 6 months or 8 months, and some of them are still doing that, still in that situation. And it's like Russian roulette with having something like that, being so tired, used to run up mountains, and now you struggle to get down to the shop a couple of 100 yards away. And so if you're young, you're playing Russian roulette with that happening with you. And if you're old, if you're very elderly, you're playing Russian roulette with your own life. Most people survive Russian roulette. Do you want to play this game with your life and health? Or wear a mask and physically distance? And I should add to that, or will add, talking to you, and isolate, quarantine, and trace contacts. So which you want to do? Do you want to play Russian roulette with your life and health? Or do you want to do these things that will protect yourself and protect others? And it's your choice, basically. And that's the point at which I'll leave this. Okay, bring that up. Oh, it's gone. Where's it gone?